Let's say you've just had an accident. You don't know what to do. You're scared, you're confused, you're shocked. So what do you do right after an accident? I'm Jim Gordon at Beers and Gordon. Let me tell you what to do. First, check on your passengers, check on yourself, make sure you're fine to get out of the vehicle. Do not move the vehicles before you get out of the vehicle. Why? There can be very important evidence at the scene on where the accident occurred. Let me use an example. Trying to figure out who controlled an intersection. If you move the vehicle before you figure out who was further along in the intersection, there's going to be an argument on who controlled that intersection. But if you stop and you take photos or video after the accident where the vehicles are, you can show I was already into my left turn before you came right into me. So that's a big reason why before you do anything with those vehicles, you want to take pictures, you want to document the scene. I think the easiest thing to do anymore is take out your phone, just take videos. Pictures are great, but you can take still shots off that video and have everything you need. So walk around, find things on the ground, whether there's debris, anything, video your car, video the other vehicle. Obviously check on the other person to make sure they're doing okay too. But that's what you want to do first before you even move the vehicles. Then I would go back in and call 911. And depending on if you're in the middle of an intersection or you need to move, then move the vehicles if they're movable to a parking lot or various things like that. The other thing is, a lot of times I wouldn't move the vehicles till the police arrive because they need to document the accident scene and see what happened before the vehicles are moved. So if they tell you to move it because you're sitting in the middle of Redbug and 426 and it's 5 o'clock and vehicles are honking at you, you may need to do that for safety reasons. But I would wait until the police officers arrive to do that as well. Some other things you need to do at the accident scene: talk to witnesses. Ask witnesses what they saw, what they observed, and more importantly, get their information. Because a lot of times people say, I talked to someone and that person left, and they have no idea what that person witnessed. And more importantly, we can't track that person down. We've tried to go on social media before and say, did anyone witness an accident on 426 and Mitchell Hammock this week? And you can't find anything. So it's so important to gather that witness information because police officers don't often do it. So be very careful about that as well. After you go from the accident scene, obviously, if you need medical treatment, get it at the accident scene. If you've called the police, they will call an ambulance if necessary. They'll ask if you need an ambulance, get the treatment at the scene. And then after that, get treatment potentially that day. Why get treatment that day? Don't run to the hospital unless you need to run to the hospital. Here's why. You only have $10,000 of PIP insurance. That'll go like that if you run to the hospital, because they'll do 3 CTs of you for $7,500. They're going to have you see an ER doc, and you may get no treatment other than you could have walked into an urgent care and get the same thing for less than $1,000. So I always recommend, unless you really need to, go to the urgent care facility. Go that day, get checked out, make sure everything's okay, and then they're going to put you on to someone else, whether it's your family doctor, chiropractor, orthopedic, depends what you need, and go from there.